Hello, hello. Yeah, it works. Thanks. Oh, can you reset? Sorry. Alright. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, fellow McGillians. I'm just going to ask you real quick if you can just pause on the notes. We'll post everything on this special board, or you can email us at any time if you have any questions. I would rather your human intelligence focus on me right now rather than a computer doing it. So it's a natural tendency in humans to think that if we say something is impossible, we defy it and we make it possible. That's what's so great about humans. That when we defy the laws of what we think is possible and make it, or what we think is impossible and make it possible. So we as humans, we must reconsider the definition of intelligence. Now, David, Soren, and I, we're not against fighting for the odds. We are not saying that this is impossible, but we are saying that we have to reconsider our true definition of intelligence. Now, once we come to this definition, it will be so obvious that human intelligence cannot be replicated, duplicated, or made artificial by any means necessary. So, our human intelligence is formed by our 5 basic senses. Our sense to see, our sense to touch, our sense to hear, our sense to smell, and our sense to taste. When these combining multi-dimensions of our intelligence come together, we form greater understandings, we form a greater intelligence that, again, cannot be duplicated. What the arguments presented, one of the arguments presented was that a robot simply identifies water, puts it in a glass, and then that's so-called intelligence. And he said, I quote, "It seems really easy for us to do," and I challenge that. It's an integration of our own human intelligence because it is not easy for us to do. Furthermore, it is intuitive for us to do. We don't even think about it. It's part of our subconscious mind. Something you cannot replicate in a software or hardware that is not existent. So there's a lot of information. Let's put it back in simple terms, ladies and gentlemen. When we consider the history of mankind, the vast history of mankind, again, we like to make the impossible possible. That's what we're all about. And from this, we have no boundaries to our intelligence. Our intelligence is limitless. Just as we are evolving, our intelligence is also evolving. And from this, we understand greater things about our intelligence. So again, we go back to the true definition of intelligence, which cannot be limited by a software or a hardware. I'm going to introduce to you a study done by Dr. John Andrew Armour. He, in collaboration with the University of Montreal and McGill, he formed a study of extensive research between the heart and the brain. And through this extensive research, he has showed that the brain, what he calls the little mind in the heart, also has the ability to intuitively feel, remember, and even command our thoughts. Now, if you just consider this for one quick second, he found from his extensive research 40,000 neurons within the human heart, which suggests that the human heart has its own nervous system, has its own capability of intelligence. So from this notion, we have 2 separate identities working simultaneously together to form our intelligence, something that cannot be duplicated. I only have 25 seconds left. Let me put it in simple terms. Our human intelligence cannot be duplicated. This is what we have as a species. This is what we have as an identity. And I take anything they say as an insult to our human intelligence. It is. They're saying that Wolfram Alpha Google search from inputs and outputs is the same as our human intelligence. Are you kidding me? You cannot be possibly serious. We created, and from the creation you cannot be created, and we all know that from the physical laws of the universe.
Alright guys, first of all, I think I mentioned at least 4 times I wasn't saying that Google search was intelligent. I was saying that it's technology. Anyways, Beside the point. I'm going to give you an example. They were talking about the Chinese room analogy, right? That basically says that if you're in a room with someone else that you can't communicate, you can fake your intelligence. I'm a math tutor. I can tell you with absolute certainty that people in Sec 2 maths are very good at faking intelligence. They don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand what they're doing. But they can get the marks because they take the input that the teacher tells us, they remember what they're supposed to do, and they spit it back out on their test. I'm sure you've all experienced it. It's called remembering rather than learning. I'm not saying that people in Sec 2 aren't intelligent, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with me that neither, we are intelligent, right? I'm not saying that they're not intelligent. Not that. What I'm saying is that we're very good at taking in inputs, remembering, and spitting back out an output. That's just how our brain works. We have our 5 senses, the touch, the taste. We have our different sensors, like a robot. We put all those parts together, and what do we have? We have something that can actually take in the input and spit out the output as well as we can, and that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for something that's going to surpass us. We're looking for something that can replicate us. And I'm telling you that Google search is very, very close to doing that.
All right, so the previously mentioned that a little child had more creativity than a robot. Okay. So it has all this information. It's like overwhelmed by all these 5 senses that are coming towards it. It can taste, it feels hungry. It can't learn as well because it's hungry and it needs more fuel to power that incredibly high processing brain. It has all the tools, a child, which are instinct and everything, like all this evolution, if you believe in Darwinism or whatever, all this time, it took billions of years for this baby to be able to have these tools from birth, to be able to adapt to what's around it. We have a robot. We have a camera that can look at things, analyze them with an algorithm that you give it, and it can spit out, whatever you want. By looking, it has one sense, right? The camera. You give it more smell receptors. You take particles, give a certain electric discharge, whatever, as a reaction to what it's surrounded by. So if you give a robot all the tools, such as the senses that you can artificially invent, and you give algorithms to analyzing this to give an ultimate goal, then sure, intelligence can be possible.
Not only that, but basic emotions are only felt in robots nowadays. Ronald Arkin from Georgia Institute of Technology worked with the military, and he says robots in the future need emotions in order for them to derive complex tasks. Now, he developed a guilt algorithm for a robot that processes the feedback from his task and has to classify it to positive and negative feedback. If it gets too much negative feedback, it changes its task. That's a basic form of negative stimuli, which is a basic form of emotion. We have basic forms of emotion in robots today. I want to talk of the arrogance of the human mind. We think we know everything. That is simply not true. We do not know everything. We cannot say something is impossible. We cannot say something is possible either. We have to be honest and say it may be possible. We can't assume something is impossible. The thing is, we are allowed to our own. You're allowed to your own beliefs, but you're not allowed to your own facts. Facts is, parts are here. We just need time to put them together, and AGI is then possible. Thank you.